All the details for update 2.8 are now here. Maintenance will begin at these times and last for about 3 hours. Pretty short one, but it does come with a load of stuff. This new Lucky Mystic Portal treasure hunt event, trait resonance where you can get an additional trait on all of your gear so long as you have it max traded. The illusion workshop, so you can make use of all different sorts of armor pieces that you find in game to fully customize your appearance, even changing the colors of said items too. There will be some ornate coin twitch drops and a load of fixes here and adjustments, including the buffs to the Deluzhnoa weapons, some tooltip fixes, some minor weapon skill balancing, and a ton of extra UI quality of life improvements. So let's go through everything you should know in this video. You may have seen my previous videos, and yes, in part we have gone through most of these things. The Mystic Portal treasure hunt event. You will use your regular mystic keys, find a mystic globe, and this always will activate a mystic portal. You find its location, it's now called a Lucky Mystic Portal, and it is literally a portal. It will enter you into this new instance, which is indeed a treasure hunt. You will find these treasure chests and claim them for extra rewards. You can get some pretty neat items, including amatoys, morphs, and character progression materials. Once the event begins, you do get a little bit of a description, but you're then under a time limit. You have 3 minutes to gather as much rewards as possible, grabbing these treasure chests, and it will display everything you've managed to achieve over those 3 minutes. And you will do that 5 times a day. In terms of trait resonance, we will ultimately obtain fragments through the material transmutation, and we will craft them into trait resonance stones. We aren't fully sure exactly what the rates will be. On Korea here, you only need to get to 10,000 points in order to get to conversion tier 5, and this gives you 15 stone fragments. You then go to your crafter and you use 5 stone fragments and 2 of these 3 ores to create a trait resonance stone. You then go to your equipment enchanting, you trait, and you select an item that you have maxed the traits. It needs to be 3 out of 3 and all of them 4 out of 4. This then gives you the option to unlock a resonance effect. You have the ability to randomly roll based on the list. You can see the chances. Sometimes, let's say I'm going for cooldown speed, that has a significantly lower chance than if I was going for, say, max mana. You can spend 300,000 solent and 3 trait resonance stones to randomly roll like this, or if the trait you want is super low chance, you can simply go and select what trait you want. This will cost you 20 trait resonance stones. Costs are a bit lower for tier 1 items. As you can see, it only costs 1 to roll and 10 to unlock, and that will be 6 and 40 for a tier 2 archboss weapon. There will also be new lithograph book entries, which will also give trait resonance stones. If you re-trait one of the 3 maxed out traits, your trait resonance will become inactive. This being if you decide to, say, trait convert here or unlock a different trait. You then have to go back and max this trait before benefiting from the trait resonance effect. With the illusion workshop, it's ultimately a new feature that allows you to customize the appearance of your character much further, using gear found in game. This is great, but the unfortunate thing is it comes at a steep price. You can select whatever combination of gear across all the different gear slots, even change the colors if you want. However, you will need to unlock these gear items. When you obtain a new item, you have the option to select that and extract the illusion. You will need illusion scrolls. It's going to cost you 3 for a tier 2 item, 2 for a tier 1 item, and 6 for a weapon, even if it's a tier 1 weapon. And those illusion scrolls, so far, we only know that they come from the Lucent shop at 100 Lucent per scroll, or with a 30% discount with this bundle. I hope at some point they'll start giving these out in, say, battle passes, events, things like that, because otherwise this is really, really expensive, particularly if you want to get a full set of armor. The ornate coin Twitch drop, honestly nothing special, you can only get like 300 ornate coins. But then jumping to general updates. We can see Dimensional Trials will now give you a bonus reward when you complete them via the random matchmaking. This will again be giving like loyalty coins, but then also extra rune chests based on the tier that you complete. I believe tier 5 will give a purple one. If you get a draw in arenas, you won't lose any points or ranking. And when you do random party matchmaking, it will display in the party UI here which role you actually selected when you went to go and queue for. So you will know who's supposed to be the healer, who's supposed to be the tank or the damage dealers. In the party board, they added the ability to create recruitment notices for Abyss dungeons, even for Nebula. Your honey roasted apple will no longer display in Korean text. They fixed an issue with the golem in the castle siege, where it could get stuck on the wrong side of the inner castle gate. And then we have a look at the weapon changes. I covered this in just my previous video, and ultimately, it's not a big deal. Your Dagon sword will deal a bit more damage with a boost to its skill bonus here. The Deluzhnoa sword now has added damage reduction and a boost to damage against monsters. The Deluzhnoa daggers now has 30% extra cooldown reduction to your Phantom Smoke Screen. Your Deluzhnoa bow similarly has a 30% cooldown reduction to your Arrow Vortex, along with having a damage boost to monsters. And the Deluzhnoa staff, for whatever reason, they've switched all of the cooldown speed to perception. They have an error listed here in the blog where they say 4% cooldown speed is changed to 4 perception. This is on, say, level 0. But when you max it out, that's 10% and 10. And they actually went and fixed the Forgotten Lotus gloves so they properly drop in the Berkinta state. They made some further adjustments to weapon mastery, updating tooltips with nodes. For your crossbow, your tactical counterattack will have a 1-second delay. For your daggers, this movement speed bonus will no longer also reduce your buff duration by 14% on the 8th and 10th points. For the greatsword, your guillotine blade, it can now have its incoming healing reduction effect, missing if your target has more weaken resist than your weaken chance. There was a fix to the Once Blessed barrier so it won't like drop off early, and they're trying to make shot at victory a bit more appealing by reducing the required specialization points. Then for your UI, a lot of improvements here for controllers, arranging your HUD, adjusting your crosshair. In the party list, you should no longer be able to reorder party members unless you're the leader. They fixed that weapon mastery bug where you could end up with a lot more points than you should have. The runebook will display a message when you say fail to upgrade. And yeah, that's about it for update 2.8 here. Unfortunately, the treasure hunt event is highly unlikely to be as profitable as the current goblin event, but it will at least help out some newer players who say didn't get those morphs and amatoys from like dungeons, and yes, a few minor upgrade materials. I haven't found the rewards here to be overly spectacular, but just keep in mind you can get this 5 times a day. Still ultimately worth doing, at least if you've got a few extra minutes. Again, it only takes about 4 to 5 minutes each run, and you have to do that 5 times per day. I can showcase more tomorrow exactly what you need to do here in the global server and see if they've actually changed anything. So thanks all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.